And so here's some of my concerns about where we're going. So Gen Z's reliance on technology has caused many people to require high levels of stimulation in order to maintain focus. One of my friends' mother is a school teacher at an elementary school, and she talks to me about how nowadays, and she's been doing this for like 20 years, nowadays kids it's very, very difficult to maintain their attention because every kid has just been constantly exposed to tech like iPhones and iPads and all of that stuff to where they're just wanting stimulation 24/7. And that's a bit of a concern to me because I think that, you need to be able to maintain focus on some projects that you're working on, especially in education. If you can't maintain focus on something, you're going to have a really hard time in school. So there needs to be either a move away from a lot of the technological dominance here, but I don't think that that's going to happen. So I think that what is more so likely to happen is that there are going to be different ways that technology is used to teach the younger generations in a way that is most effective to them. What I mean by that is you look at things like Duolingo that use GPT-3, which is a AI, open source AI. Duolingo uses it to custom make a learning method for the individual user. So no two users are going to have the same exact way of learning a specific language. Now, I think that technology can be implemented into almost any subject with the right amount of time and the right, ironing out of all of the wrinkles, so to speak. So Gen Z is constantly being exposed to advertisements via social media networks. You look at all of the influencers these days pushing, scam tokens like those crypto scams, all of that. I think that regulation is going to step in at some point. And, they're going to say no bueno, not good. But what I mean by that is that a lot of Gen Z is there's just more advertisements than ever anywhere. And kids are always on their phones. So they're always seeing these new advertisements. There's always going to be some product that they're going to want. And I feel like this is going to cause people to not be satisfied with what they have because they're always being exposed to the next best thing. And they're always putting some people on a pedestal that have these things. So I hope that the mental health implications of this don't affect as many people as I think it will. I think that it'll be pretty terrible. If automated systems replace jobs, how will people find new work? So, like I said with the McDonald's example, the people that are in need of a minimum wage job or in need of a job in general, if the field that they had specialized in is now moving toward complete automation, because you don't have to hire a robot hourly, you just have to hire some kind of mechanic to come in and check up on it every once in a while. How are these people going to be making money? Is there going to be like more social stimulus? Is there going to be new different kinds of jobs or skill? Is robotic skill going to be in extremely high demand? Data analytics, all those things, they're already in high demand, but are those people going to have to learn skills in these? So whoever controls the data controls the world. This is just, I think, abundantly true. If people have all of your information, then there is a substantial amount of trust and risk that person holds. Because, imagine having your social security number leaked on the dark web. That's horrible. I've heard horror stories of that happening these days, and I see social media accounts getting hacked all the time. In fact, my friend just got hers hacked not too long ago, and she's currently fighting to get it back. And so imagine, people being able to hack your social media account or even your text messages or anything like that, and messaging your friends and family things that you would not, right? Or exposing things about you that you wouldn't want. I don't know. Will VR tech cause people to escape from reality and opt to live in a digitized world? So this is, I don't know if this sounds like Ready Player One-esque. That wasn't really my intention, but it's kind of true. So if you have the option to go wherever you want or do whatever you want in, the palm of your hand through VR, would you? Should you? And what effect would, a majority or a lot of people living in a VR world cause? And while this might not seem like a big risk to some, I will personally say I know a lot of people that spend over 6 hours per day on the internet or on video games, stuff like that. And that's on the low end. I know that there are some people that probably spend tens of hours. Some streamers spend 12 hours a day, but it's their job. I guess that's fine. But you also got to remember that while they're streaming, there are people that are spending their time watching them for those entire 12 hours. So basically how will VR tech cause people to escape from reality, and what effect will that have on everything, really. So how long will it take to implement blockchain tech into self-driving cars? What about the cars on the road that are not implemented? So like I said earlier, I believe that there's going to be networks of self-driving cars. And what it's going to do is, like, these cars are going to be able to communicate with each other and kind of know where the car in front of them is going, how fast they're going, what destination they're going to, how much battery life. All of those things are factored in to this tech system in order to better just to better understand traffic. I feel like, if a car were able to tell that if they merged lanes at a specific time, that, the car behind them would crash into them, I just think that'll mitigate a lot of human risk. Also, it'll probably improve traffic flow, because if cars are able to communicate with themselves within their system, like miles ahead, it would probably be able to prevent traffic jams and such. So yeah, as tech giants grow, how will smaller businesses be able to compete? I remember reading something about how I believe it was a Walmart or a Best Buy opened up a store in the middle of a kind of smaller area. I don't remember exactly where. I think it's Midwest, and how they were able to basically run the small businesses out of business because they were able to offer products at such a low price compared to them due to their supply chain, that they just had to go out of business. So how will smaller businesses be able to compete? And I'm talking about smaller businesses not being bought out by tech giants. That's a whole different thing. I just mean businesses that are kind of family owned. So the future is here. It's time to start paying attention. And I believe that innovation will not slow down. And I have a few reasons why. So online education has enabled anyone, anywhere. Ignore this. Online education has enabled anyone, anywhere to learn literally anything that they want. I've met a few people in my accounting class from India, and they were telling me that a lot of their education came from Khan Academy, and they were able to learn accounting, they were able to learn calculus, all of those different things online. And I think that that's an amazing development, because now you don't have to spend, thousands of dollars to learn something that you can learn online, while you won't have a degree or anything. Like, these are useful lifelong skills. Think about coding. Think about, data analytics. All of those different types of skills can be learned online for cheap. And so also the improvements in communication. So the improvements in communication, think about it like, now that everybody is interconnected through the World Wide Web, or through social media, you can now look and see what is possible. Kids are able to see people like Elon Musk trying to make progression into space, AI, all of those different aspects, and now they're being inspired, like, ooh, what if I went and worked in that? What if I did this? What if I did that? And I could teach myself through online education. And then data. So I think that data is going to be extremely instrumental into our progression. Reason being is I am highly confident that data can be used to identify what you are best at, and even suggest what field you should potentially go into based on your, search trends, based on your test answering. All of those different things, if interconnected, can really help people and help with specialization. And remember, in economics, we learned that you want to specialize. So if you could create an algorithm that is able to accurately tell if someone is best at, let's say organizational thinking or emotional intelligence, whatever those types of intelligences are, you could help specialize people into whatever field they would be most effective in. And so here's something that I just wanted to show, and this is just to prove a point of the innovation kind of stuff. So this is I put together a little timeline of how the iPhone was, progressed into in 2007. So we've got here, so in March 1876, Alexander Graham Bell was credited with the invention of the telephone. And in 1877, Rutherford B. Hayes installs first telephone in the White House. I put this as an important point because it shows the adoption, like first huge adoption of the telephone. Almond B. Strowinger invents first automatic telephone exchange that does not require an operator and rotary dialing. So this was, I put this as a range here because while it was patented in 1891, it wasn't really put into full it wasn't fully implemented until around 1920. And so 1921 to 1960s, the worldwide adoption of telephone communication. 1980s, the caller ID, VoIP services, and the Motorola MicroTAC 9800X was introduced in 1989. Now, I have no idea what this is. Some people might have an idea of what kind of phone this is. Maybe you're getting some kind of nostalgia right now, but yeah, no idea. No idea. Okay, so and then, this should have been back here. That's my bad. The cordless phones and touch tone dialing. And then finally in 2007, the iPhone is introduced. Now, the first iPhone had a 2.0 megapixel camera, a 320 by 480 LCD display, a 32-bit ARM microprocessor, and a 3.77 volt 1400 milliamp battery, with a 4 gigabyte and 8 gigabyte options. Now, I don't have the newest iPhone because that's going to be the iPhone 14, but I know that the current iPhone 13X has 4 total 12 megapixel cameras, and it has some crazy display like 2200 something by like 2200 by like 1000 something display, retina display. It's just a crazy development, and this has all happened in what, 15 years? So it went from this to what I just said in a span of 15 years. So that's going to be here, right? And took this long to get to the first iPhone. I hope that kind of makes sense to my point. It's just things are speeding up extremely fast. Innovation is moving at light speed, and I don't think it's going to slow down. And I think that those industries that I mentioned before, some of them will be, rather new, but I think that it will be going through a similar progression to the telephone. I think that especially AI and machine learning, you're going to see some crazy developments in the upcoming years with those fields. So thank you for watching. I hope this was informative in some way. I will be making new videos as often as possible, and I hope you have a great day. Goodbye.